Greetings, Mechwarriors. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is TTV, but you already know that. Welcome back to some more MWO news. This one is important. April, devlog number 1 and number 2, even more important. As you might say, number 2 is always more important than number 1, because it's more pressing. Well, we're gonna go into the patch notes and we'll talk about the new patch that's gonna hit us in late April. And there's some bombs in there, potentially some good bombs, so definitely make sure to watch that. So let's go over the devlog as we did last time. Let's let it roll.
Hey, Mechwarriors. So it is April 1st. Which would,
it is not a
I
joke,
think, instantly make you guys think we are pulling an April Fool's prank. So I'm just going to preface this real quick and say that this is not an April Fool's prank. We have some news, and we're also kind of on the side setting ourselves up for a little success in terms of devlogs in April. So now we've done one. It's going to be a short one, April 1st. Now we have the rest of the month to get the second one in. But we do have some news. It's kind of bad news, good news, good news. And so, Matt, you want to kind of get us rolling on the info that we have for the community here?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Darren. Just to reiterate, this is not a joke. There's been some...
To be clear, I had to go there. It's not a joke. So this is for real, even though it was released on April 1st.
events that we need to update you on and let you know what our plan is moving forward. Just to rip the band-aid off, we need to tell you that one, PTS is not going to happen. We had hoped to have the PTS up by today, and it is not happening for a number of reasons. And those reasons include Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries needing to final over the next couple weeks. And by final, I mean all the bugs that are existing need to be squashed, and those release candidate builds need to be sent to Microsoft and deployed through various digital platforms. And along with that, there's some technical challenges involving getting the PTS up at the same time. Those are due to both resources and technical issues. So unfortunately, the PTS that we promised you last week and just over the last couple of days has completely derailed, and we are unable to offer it now.
Okay. So what is happening here in the background? This is just what I'm gleaming from this. This might be true or might not be true, guys, but this sounds to me like classic crunch. They're close to the supposed release of the Mechwarrior 5 add-on. They have to distribute it on different systems. They have to push it to Steam, they have to push it through Epic Games Store, and so on and so on. And this sounds to me like the two guys currently working on MWO, which is Darren and Matt, plus the new guy, Francois. These are all the guys that are working on MWO, and all the other dev resources, like getting the PTS set up, getting any changes done to the game, pushing those changes into a patch, and then delivering that patch. All of that is a shared resource for Matt and Darren, and they don't get first pick. So right now it's all hands on deck for them for MW5, and it sounds like this was unexpected. I would have to say though, I'm not surprised. I hoped it wouldn't happen, but I did expect kind of for that to happen. There's just not enough resources available right now to do both things at the same time, so of course they're gonna opt for releasing the MW5 add-on first. So it's understandable. It's not cool, but it's understandable. But I've of course already read on a little bit, so I know that the news that I'm following are good. So I'm not mad about this. It's understandable, somewhat expected, but yeah. MWO is only getting resources at this point right now if there are resources free, as we've discussed in previous live streams and previous videos. Let's move on.
So the original plan was for the April patch is to roll back the changes we made for May. And we were going to have the PTS now. We were going to deploy the PTS changes after a couple iterations in May. Is that correct, Darren? Did I screw up the month again?
Sort of did. So basically, April, we were going to roll back the changes that we made in March. So we had a clean slate. Then we were going to PTS the Cauldron's values for a May release.
Cauldron's values with your feedback.
With their feedback,
like the PTS was supposed to be their chance to give their feedback on what the Cauldron's proposed changes are.
Yes. So now, instead, because we don't have the ability to do the
that's
PTS,
the good news,
Matt, what
right?
are we doing? Yeah.
That's the good news.
That's
the bad news.
That's the bad.
Bad news is no PTS. The good news is we're going to be going straight to the April patch with these changes. So it essentially means you don't get a chance to give feedback on PTS, but you will get a chance to give that feedback as of April 20th when this patch deploys, and you can read the changes. Give us feedback there, but also play the game.
I like it. I like it a lot. Because I've been calling out the guys at PGI multiple times, over and over again, to just make changes, put them to live, and see how the community likes them or not, and then act accordingly. Like, don't worry too much about planning, don't worry much about yada yada yada, just push it out, make the change and see what happens. Last patch we got that little bit of a weird thing where everybody agrees that didn't end up well, but that was for different reasons. Now, since they can't have PTS, what are they doing? They're pushing the changes to live. The changes that we had in March get canned, and they're pushing the Gulag/Cauldron changes to live. And I love that. I love that. That's, I think, the absolutely correct move. If you can't have PTS, just put it on there. No time wasted with discussing stuff, no more community feedback, yada yada yada. Just push it on there and then see what the community says about it. Love it.
April 20th, yeah. So we're making this announcement on April Fools, and we're releasing our patch on 4/20. So it's going to be, I think, an exciting month. Basically, to reiterate what's going on, no PTS due to multiple reasons, resources, and technical reasons. So instead of waiting for those to clear, we're just going to go live with the Cauldron's changes in April, on the April patch on April 20th. So those changes will be live. We'll be essentially, to some extent, testing them live. You guys are going to give us your feedback. First iteration on those changes will come in May. So it's going to be an exciting month. I think that's pretty much guaranteed. And so the other good news, that it was bad news, good news, good news. The third good news is that we're going to be posting these changes down below. We'll link to it from the YouTube video, and obviously it'll be in the news thread, the news post that we go.
If you're looking for that, guys, it's going to be in the video description below on YouTube. And of course, we're going to go through these changes in a bit here after the devlog finishes.
That goes up. So you'll have all those numbers. You can start playing around with them, and then we're going to have a heck of a fun month come April 20th.
Yeah, so I think we do apologize. We did totally want to do the PTS. We spent the majority of last week confirming that we could do the PTS, and it was when we came back on Monday this week that we found out that the goals of MW5 and MWO were conflicting, and that the build engineers and technical requirements and resources requirements for us getting a PTS up was not going to be possible.
That's exactly what I just said earlier. Yep. The plans were there, but then something happens in the MW5 team. They realize, shit, we need more resources. We can't do this in time otherwise. And then Matt and Darren get informed, hey guys, you know that stuff that we just discussed over the last week that's going to happen? Well, it's not going to happen anymore. So you have to deal with that. That is normal. That is normal. I've worked in companies that were developing software. That is normal. That can happen. That's nothing out of the ordinary. So please don't hate on PGI for that, guys. MWO, as you can see, is not as high priority as MW5, which is fine. That's their decision, right? So I'm gonna have to wait and see. And I'm seeing good things here. That is the correct move that they're doing here.
And the reason we're not only posting it today is because we had to come up with what the heck are we going to do instead. And Darren and I spent some time trying to figure out what our plan was going to be moving forward. We didn't feel like doing nothing was an option. Like when we started trying to look at when could we do a PTS, because the game is shipping in May 27th, it pushed everything out past that date. And Darren and I are not gonna sit on our hands and wait for the resources of the time. We're gonna go a little bit wild like we promised you guys we were gonna do. And
Matt, Darren, you're not going wild here. You're doing exactly the right thing. You're not gonna wait. Instead, you're gonna act. And that is a great thing. That is what we've been missing from PGI for so long. Just do what you can do. And that's the right move here. That's the right move here. It doesn't mean that the values are gonna be super perfect, and there's gonna be issues for sure. Absolutely. But if the alternative was just waiting around, nobody, in my opinion, can say that, yeah, let's just wait. No. Just push it to live. Perfect.
and we're gonna put those changes directly out onto there. So we hope you guys are stoked on this, even though you don't get to test them on PTS and offer your feedback there.
We'll test them live.
We'll be implementing those changes on live, and we do want to hear your feedback still. We will probably have another iteration of changes, but I think this shows our goal is to just move forward and not let anything hinder us to make changes, positive changes in MWO this year.
Yeah, really, this was ultimately the only choice we felt we could make. It was the only option at this time, and so instead of waiting until May to be able to play these value changes, it's gonna happen early. So the bummer is no PTS. The exciting thing is we get to test them live earlier or play them live earlier. So anyway, guys, dive into the numbers, and we look forward to there'll be further patch notes obviously for the April patch. These changes aren't the only thing that'll be in the April patch, so those will be coming out before the pre-patch. But anyway, that's it. That's our first devlog for April. We hope you guys that this news is for the most part well received, and all I can say is get in there and test them after the patch goes live, and let's have some fun with these changes and the way we're doing things moving forward, which is, Matt and I don't want to wait. We want to move forward. We are very anxious to bring changes to Mechwarrior Online, and
that's exactly what the game has needed, guys, because the game has been stagnating for so long. And that's why we need action. Not too much deliberation, action. And if it turns out it's bad, it can be reverted. Like even that last patch with the PPCs and the gauze raffles and the mask changes, turns out they were very, very bad. But it gets reverted. We can live with a month of bad changes. That's okay. People are still playing the game.
And the gameplay, and make it more fun, and more variety, and just also a lot to talk about in terms of maps. So we'll have all that coming probably in the next devlog. It's going to be exciting, guys. So thank you again, and I'll see you online.
Yep. Just to reiterate, it's April 1st, but this isn't a joke.
This is not a joke.
Yeah. Those notes are going to be there for you guys, and we look forward to playing with you guys on 420.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see, that was some good stuff there. All right. Let's move on over to the patch notes. I think I should have like a bigger screen here somewhere. Aha, there we go. Oof. Wall of text. Should we do TTP ASMR? Holy shit. Oh, this is gonna be a long one, guys. Strap in. So, I'll probably leave the information in here for you guys to read if you want to read that. I'm just going to go over that very, very quickly. It's basically what they said in the video right here. MWO and MW5 are currently being developed. MW5 takes the resources right now, so no public test server, but instead the changes will go live straight from the Cauldron. I'm going to quote the whole answers from the Cauldron. If you guys are not familiar with the Cauldron, or the Gulag as they used to be known, it's about 20 plus individuals from casual to comp level players that have been with the game for a very long time, and they've invested a lot of time and brain matter into coming up with potential changes for the game that would make the game more fun and more engaging to play. And I think they're a good chance for the community to get good changes to happen to the game, and I'm looking forward to them. So let's hear what the Cauldron had to say. The April patch brings about the first step in a series of community-driven changes to various aspects of gameplay in Mechwarrior Online. A large number of community members, including competitive, casual, veteran and new players, as well as public opinion and discussion, have been involved in the past few months to form a roadmap to reach our ultimate goal, which is to make the game fun for all players. If you think back into like videos like the unfunning of Mechwarrior Online and so on back in like 3-4 years ago, that has been a problem. And the game needs to be fun. If a game is not fun, then it doesn't have players, it doesn't have viewership, right? So it needs to be fun. So that needs to be the number one goal. And if people have fun, they also spend money, which of course also helps the development process. In order to achieve this, several steps have been envisioned throughout the year. Increasing the utility of the wide array of weapon types and incentivizing more diverse mech and weapon combinations through a weapon pass. You guys know that in my videos I'm trying to bring obscure weapons. I'm trying to make builds that are not meta but try and still make them work. and it's very encouraging to me that this is going to be a goal of the weapon pass to make weapons viable. Like, if a weapon is in the game, it needs to be viable. If it's not viable, it's not gonna get used, right? Then, increasing the baseline agility across the board with the purpose of reintroducing fluidity and increasing time to kill by giving them the ability to roll, twist, and use cover in a more effective way. So, best example, let's say you're a big hulking Atlas, right? Coming at the enemy, wah, 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 wah. Somebody shooting at you, and then you twist. Yeah, you're still gonna get all the damage on that targeted component, right? Whereas if you had more agility, all of a sudden you can twist, and you can shield with your arms and whatnot. But you need some better mech agility for that. Accomplishing a new round of geometric rescale across all chassis in order to reduce the overall scale of mechs, particularly 35 tons plus chassis, and directly increase time to kill. That's gonna be benefiting the big boys a lot. You're gonna be smaller, so it's gonna be more easy to hit targets that are small and fast. Hint, light mechs running under assault mechs and basically being invincible at that spot. So it's gonna help with that, and it's gonna be nice. Yeah, I like that. Going through a mech quirk and skill tree revision in accordance to other changes in order to identify and compensate the weakest outliers, which are limited by factors such as hardpoint count, model shape, and other limitations. Yep. If mechs have very little weapon systems available, they need to be quirked out the wazoo to be useful, right? So this is also something that I have been asking for a long time, and it's great that it's coming. As these changes eventually find their way into MWO, it is important to note the iterative nature of these changes and possible tuning of values if something is found to have room for improvement based on testing and feedback from each pass. This April patch is mainly focused on weapon and equipment tuning and adjustments based on overall performance of current weapon systems, weapon-specific quirks, and general state of the game. Okay, and now we jump into energy weapons. The meta is, I'm just gonna be doing excerpts right now because otherwise I'll be talking for over an hour to get through all of this. So let's make it a little bit faster. If you want to read up on this, guys, link video description below. So, the majority of the changes has been to energy weapons. The meta right now is medium pulses on the inner sphere side, UX 5s, UX 10s, Clan ER PPCs for short, medium, and long range engagements, respectively. Yep, Clan ER PPCs are good everywhere. Go figure. The shift over the years has been caused not due to dominant weapons becoming stronger, but due to the alternatives becoming weaker and weaker. Yep. So, special attention has been paid towards micro and small glass lasers in order to make them more powerful options in close quarter fights. Yep, nice. So that should help the void in the extreme close range bracket. Medium range bracket, inner sphere medium pulse lasers will face better competition through changes made to clan medium pulses and inner sphere standard and ER mediums. Nice. Large class lasers, ER large versus PPC families, more revisions made to large pulse, standard and heavy lasers to help introduce tangible advantages in various aspects, okay. And inner sphere PPC will get significant changes. Extreme heat and low velocity in the non-ER versions, only mechs that generously correct had the ability to use them effectively, yes. And we'll see what they come up with here. So, let's have a look here. Change log. Previous values are based on the pre-March patch values, so that's a smart thing to do because March patch is gonna go away anyways. Yeah, micro laser. No more heat penalty. No more heat penalty. Nice. So you can boat as many as you want, which makes sense. Currently, any mechs with this limit applies to you already use ER small or heavy small to get around this limit, which by making their builds stronger, thusly making any current ghost heat limit extremely redundant. Yep. So, damage will be increased by 0.3, and the range will be increased by 40 meters. That makes sense. Micropulses. We'll be able to effectively use them. You need a little bit more range on those. Makes sense. Makes sense. And Clan micro heat penalty removed, also micropulse heat penalty removed. Makes sense. Then small laser inner sphere, damage up a little bit and 10 meters extra range. I feel that makes sense, yeah. A little bit extra range and a little bit extra damage will help. On that side, the ER small laser will also get the same damage increase, so to be on the same level, and a teensy bit of a cooldown decrease. So these are just smaller changes, right? But overall, yep, looks good. You guys can read up on the thoughts behind that. Small pulse laser, inner sphere, damage up, heat up a little bit, cooldown up a little bit, but also a little bit more range. So small pulses, they were nerfed a couple of years ago, and nobody was using them anymore, basically. And it's basically, yeah, it's not, you don't see those anymore. Considering the viability of medium lasers as a whole for the same tonnage, small pulses also have a place as a viable primary weapon. I don't know if these changes go far enough to make small pulse lasers viable as opposed to medium lasers, because they are same tonnage, right? So we would have to see if that makes sense or not. I feel, just looking at this just from the values, I don't know if that's going to be enough of an increase to make them viable over medium lasers. Maybe it will, we'll see. Heavy small lasers for the clans, the burn duration decreased a little bit, and a teensy bit of an extra range increase. Alright, makes sense. Yeah, smalls on the clan side, small heat decrease. This is gonna help builds like the Nova, and the duration of the burn is also gonna be a little bit less. So yeah, they are in a good place, and after that they will still be in a good place, I think. Clan small pulse got a damage increase from 4 to 5, whereas Inner Sphere small pulse is gonna be from 4 damage. So clan small pulse is gonna deal more damage and have more range. I don't know. It feels like clan small pulse is just gonna be a lot superior to Inner Sphere small pulse. Alright. Inner Sphere medium lasers. Small heat decrease, small cooldown decrease. Nice. Inner Sphere ER medium laser, heat decrease, and cooldown decrease. Yep, that will help. Absolutely. Heavy mediums on the clans. The cooldown decreased by half a second. That was needed because 5.5 was insane. And the duration also down a little bit. Yep. So that's exactly what they're saying here. They want to make them less uncomfortable to use. That makes sense. Yep. Clan ER mediums. Heat decrease by, what is that, 15% or so? Cooldown decrease by half a second, and the duration decrease a little bit. That's gonna help, because clan ER mediums, they always felt like they had like a very long burn time, so this is nice. And a very long cooldown. And this change will help the vomit heavies and assaults. Yep, I like that. Because right now, if you have a choice between Dakar Assault or Laser Vomit Assault, you're gonna go for the Dakar Assault if you want effectiveness, right? Clan medium pulses. Small damage increase, small heat decrease, burn time duration decreased. Range also decreased. That is interesting. They're putting the range on the same as the Inner Sphere, but also putting them on the same range as the Inner Sphere on the other side of things. So 270 for the pulses. Unless I'm completely mad here, but oh no, that's the medium laser range. Never mind, it's the medium laser range Inner Sphere. Not the pulse laser range, yeah. But they're doing the right thing here, which is having the max range be twice as much as the optimal range, so same thing as with the Inner Sphere. That's a good thing. So amping up the damage a little bit, decreasing the heat and the burn time, but decreasing the optimal range while increasing the max range. That makes a lot of sense. Large laser Inner Sphere, okay, now it's getting juicy. Let's see what happens here. Large laser Inner Sphere cooldown will be increased. Heat will be decreased a little bit, burn time will be decreased a little bit, and heat penalty increased to 5 from 4. Okay. So you can fire 4 large lasers at the same time. That will be interesting. If you can do that, then the cooldown increase is warranted, I think. That will be interesting. ER larges. Heat decrease, cooldown increase, and range increase. Okay. So Inner Sphere ER larges to be like more long range focused even further. And make them more unique against the normal large lasers, because there was always like a debate whether large laser or ER large, and they didn't have too much setting them apart. Now they're gonna be set apart more. That's good. But it will not have a heat scale limit change, so it's gonna be 3 for the ER larges. So okay, Inner Sphere large pulse. Damage back to 11, okay. Heat decreased. Laser duration decreased, and range increased to 400. Yes! Yes. Yes. That will make large pulses back. That's a nice buff to the Inner Sphere large pulses. That will make things like the large pulse Battlemaster a lot more interesting now. I like that. Heavy large laser clan. Damage increased to 18, cooldown decreased to 5.5, and the duration decreased a little bit. Yep. So they don't compete with ER larges anymore on the clan side. That makes sense. Clan ear large, slight damage increase. 1.8 heat decrease, that is nice. Also a cooldown increase and a range increase. Okay. Makes him a little bit back on the same line as Inner Sphere. Alright. Clan large pulse. 13 damage, 9 heat. 1.0 laser duration. Maximum range decreased a little bit, yes. And max range increased. Again, when we had the patch happen with the PPC changes, I tried using large pulses clan versus ER PPC, and I always found that it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good because with the large pulses, your maximum range was about 800 meters, as opposed to like going way beyond 800, going to like 1600 with the PPCs. So this is a good thing that the max range is not going to be double the optimal range. Oof, here come the PPCs. Here come the PPC changes. Okay, now it's gonna get juicy. Light PPC, heat decreased, cooldown decreased to 3.0, velocity 1400, minimum range removed! Yes! Yes. Improved DPS, work better as backup weapons, remove the minimum range, and then it's a more distinct role. Okay. Inner Sphere PPC. That's gonna have still minimum range, yes. Heat decrease, velocity increase, and minimum hit penalty level increased to 4. You can shoot 3 without penalty. Yes, that was needed. That was needed. It's still gonna have the minimum range though. That would mean though that on like on awesome maybe, or like on anyone that has like heat skill limit +1, how would that work? You would probably vote 4 then, which is interesting. Okay. Certain PPC boats will be able to alpha strike 4 PPCs with relative ease, making the damage output more closely match their closest competition. Nice, nice, nice. Because of these changes, PPCs will become more worth boating, particularly when compared to their heavy PPC cousins. Yep. Alright. Snubnose PPC. Heat from 10 to 7. Yes. And heat penalty also. 3 without penalty. So you can now fire 3 Snubnoses. Snubnose needs a buff. Big time. Way too hot and too heavy to be like this brawling PPC, and that is good. That will make Snubnose a lot more interesting, a lot more interesting. Heavy PPC, also heat decrease and velocity increase. Yep, they felt like it was in a good place. Still nothing with the minimum range though. I would have liked to have something in there that maybe like does reduce damage at below minimum range, but 0 damage below minimum range I think is just stupid. Same goes for all these PPC weapons. They should do some damage below their minimum range. Okay, Inner Sphere ER PPC. Heat decrease and heat penalty multiplier decreased to X4 from X7. Okay. That's an interesting one. That tells me that there are some mechs that can shoot 3 at the same time, but wouldn't be able to properly do that if it is an X7 multiplier as opposed to an X4 multiplier. So, that will be interesting. Gotta keep an eye out for mechs that could do like 3 ER PPCs and alpha strike them properly. Okay, moving into ballistic weapons. Focus has been on differentiating between different variations of weapon systems by bringing up some of the underperformers to the same levels as the dominant options. Dominant options being UAC5, UAC10, and LB10. Those have been like the best Dakar weapons for a long time. Best general use, right? Also, major change to light and standard Gauss. And further tweaks to machine guns to incentivize the use of light machine gun and heavy machine gun, because right now it was always just use normal machine guns. Light machine guns were the weird spot and heavy machine guns also the weird spot. Okay, I'm gonna just read through that paragraph here real quick for you guys. Standard autocannons have received slight velocity increases and heat decrease to make them competitive against the more versatile ultra autocannons, especially when paired with complementary weapons such as PPCs or lasers. In case of clan standard autocannons, considering the size disadvantage compared to the more flexible ultra autocannon variants, the total shell count has to be reduced by 1. Good. In addition to the velocity and heat changes, so clan autocannons will have 1 shell less shooting. Adjustments have been made to clan AC-20s to allow them to fire 2 with no heat penalty. Nice. What about Inner Sphere AC-20s? I want to read somewhere that just says Inner Sphere AC-20s same thing, because otherwise it's gonna be bullshit. The changes to ultra autocannons are limited to UAC2 and UAC20s. The current state of the game, jam rate to UAC2s often leads them performing worse than standard AC2s due to the very short cooldown. In case of the UAC20s, the very long downtime in case of jam renders an extremely heavy weapon, that's usually the main gun, out of service for almost 12 seconds. Yep. Okay, moving on. Due to the large spread, LB2 and LB5 autocannons are one of the most underperforming ballistic weapons. This has been addressed in this patch with significant reduction in spread. That's why I was always saying, guys, don't use LB2s for sniping, use the AC2s, because the LB2, if you hit your target, you're gonna hit left leg and right arm at 1000 meters. So yeah, we're gonna group those pellets much more closely together now. LB20s for both factions have all received heat adjustments, so they maintain their edge against standard and ultra ACs. Okay. Looking at the current state of the game, Rack 2 currently has a niche role and playstyle, however the same cannot be said about Rack 5, yeah, because Rack 5 was garbage. This is mainly due to the high amount of generated heat, low velocity and very wide artificial spread, as well as short jam-free firing duration. Adjustments have been made to help the Rack 5, yes. Yes. It should be a heavier and bulkier version of the Rack 2. Nice. One of the changes in this patch has been given to light and standard Gauss rifles to fit a proper sniper role through increased optimum and max range. This change has been made to set Gauss rifles apart from their strong competitors in the same range bracket such as AC5s, UAC5s and PPCs. In addition, further changes have been made to light Gauss in terms of damage increase and heat penalty removal in order to give it a wider use in conjunction with weapons in a similar range bracket and to differentiate it from the standard Gauss rifles. Adjustments to light Gauss cooldown values and ammo count have been made to offset the boosts. Also, the Inner Sphere standard Gauss rifle has been adjusted in cooldown and ammo per ton count to compensate for its heavier weight and larger size compared to the clan counterpart. Finally, Gauss, Inner Sphere and clan and heavy Gauss rifles have received a health increase to account for the explosive nature when destroyed. Yep. Losing weapons is not fun, especially when it explodes and almost 30% of the weight of your mech is gone. Yes! We've had that in a stream not too long ago, where I got really mad and really sad because my Gauss just went up in flames, taking half my mech with it. Yep. The whole exploding thing is not fun. In my opinion, it should just be removed. F the lore in this case, guys. Just remove it. Clan and Inner Sphere light and heavy machine guns have received more ammo per ton. In order to create incentives for their use, Inner Sphere standard machine guns have received more ammo per ton to equalize its tonnage investment compared to the clan machine gun. Nice. Finally, giving the massive tonnage investment that the Inner Sphere H1G requires, the optimum range has been increased. Okay. Now let's have a look at what is being changed. AC5, heat decrease for Inner Sphere, heat decrease for clan. Heat penalty increase, so you can fire 4 AC5s without penalty. For clans only though. Why clan only, why not Inner Sphere? Velocity increase and burst shells for clans decreased to 1, of course. So what do they say about this? Is there anything about why they did it not for Inner Sphere? Heat reduction to help achieve parity with the clan AC5s. And velocity increase to make them feel more comfortable and line them up closer with PPCs, so that makes them nice. Bolting them together with PPCs possible, okay. And you never saw clan AC5s anyway, so yeah, that makes sense. AC10s, heat decrease for Inner Sphere, velocity increase, and burst shells decrease for clan. Yeah, AC10 are in a good place, but this is gonna help as well. Heat decrease is also going to help mechs like the Annihilator, right? AC20, heat decrease, velocity increase by almost 50%, nice. Less shells for clans, and the minimum heat penalty level increased to 3 from 2, for clans only. Okay, now we have to do this bit of notes here, because I wanna know why we cannot shoot 2 AC20s as Inner Sphere. It's common knowledge that the AC20s in general are in a pretty rough place right now, particularly clan AC20 heavy competition from both forms of AC20s due to heavy Gauss rifles. In almost every meta means AC20s have quite literally fallen to the wayside. We want to rectify this in a big way with a massive increase to velocity, yes. This will help the weapon system easier to use on the whole and allow players to take advantage of the desirable pinpoint characteristics. On the clan side spectrum, we want to give AC20s a purpose considering they are the same cost in slots and tonnage as the vastly superior UAC20 and same tonnage as the vastly superior clan LB20. Being able to fire 3 without any heat penalties will help. 3? That's probably 2, right? I should say 2 without any heat penalties. Will help them compete closer to clan LB20s and reduce the shell count in its burst will help it better compete with the clan UAC20. Okay, that makes sense, yeah, but still. Why can't we shoot AC20s the same way in the Inner Sphere? What is keeping us from having like dual AC20 without Ghost Heat? Doing this for clan only, I don't agree with that. I think it should be for every. You can shoot 3? I mean, yes, you can shoot 3, but this, I mean, either this is correct or this is correct, right? I think this is a typo here. It should be 2. So yeah. But as I said, guys, this change needs to happen for Inner Sphere as well. But bring up mechs like the King Crab a lot more in use. Moving on, Ultra AC2, heat decrease, jam chance decreased for Inner Sphere and Clan. No, just Inner Sphere jam chance. Oh no, okay, heat ID changes. Okay, never mind. I couldn't read. Never mind. TTB can't read. Jam chance down by 1%. Okay, and jam duration decreased as well. Okay, so that makes sense. Ultra AC20, heat decrease, velocity increase, jam duration decreases across the board. Makes sense. I like that. LB2, spread decrease, and weapon slot size decrease. Yes! Yes. Less weapon slots taken. Very good. LB5, spread decrease. Everything else stays the same. LB20, heat decrease for Inner Sphere and clans. Same heat value, by the way. But yeah. Especially on the clan side, clan LB20s always seemed very hot. So it's nice to see that they are decreasing the heat here. Rack 2, less cockpit shake. Nice. Rack 5s, let's see what they did with that. Lowered the heat by about 25%. Increased the velocity, decreased the spread, and the jam ramp-up time is increased by 2 seconds. Nice. Yeah, on paper they were great, but on practical it just didn't work as well. So this should make Rack 5 builds a lot more interesting now. Beforehand, Rack 5 builds were almost always inferior to the Rack 2 builds. Okay, let's have a look at the light Gauss Rifle. Damage increase, ammo per con decrease, cooldown increase from 2.6 to 3.5, but not to the insane values we've had in the last batch. More velocity, more range, and max range 2,200 meters. No heat penalty. Light Gauss are a weird amalgamation of AC5 and AC10s and Gauss Rifles. We want to diversify them into a class of their own. To start with, sizable damage and decent velocity increase to bring it more in line with similar weapons, PPCs and Gauss Rifles. To compensate for that, they get a nerf in cooldown and a slight nerf to ammo economy. To give Light Gauss Rifles a more unique sniper niche, they have decided to give it a 3x damage at range fall-off, in addition to improving the optimum range by a sizable amount. Okay, we have to look at that. A rather large change they were also making to the weapon system is removing all associated heat penalties with it, so you can use it with PPCs. Interesting. Okay, what happens to the Gauss Rifle? Weapon health increase, cooldown decrease by 0.25, ammo per ton increase to 12 per ton, up from 10, that is nice. Velocity increase by 10%, range increase by about 150 meters, and max range now at 2050. Nice! Nice. Similar to Light Gauss Rifles, distinguishing this long range by giving them the same 3x damage at range fall-off as opposed to 2x before. I'll have to look into that, what that actually means. I'm not 100% clear what that is going to entail. But yeah, weapon health increase is also going to be nice. Heavy Gauss, weapon health up to 20 from 15. We want to see Heavy Gauss Rifles not to be destroyed and explode as much. Yep, me too. Clan Gauss, weapon health also up from 5 to 12. That's a huge buff. Range increases, velocity increases, max range, similar to the Inner Sphere Gauss. Light machine guns, spread decreased. Ammo per ton increased. Nice. They seek to make light machine guns slightly more than just a longer ranged machine gun. So more ammo per ton is gonna be nice. Yeah, well, I think we'll see more light and machine guns and heavy machine guns moving forward. Machine gun ammo per ton increased to a little bit. Yeah, it's just a small buff. It's just like what 15% buff on the ammo per ton, but that will help Inner Sphere machine guns, Inner Sphere machine gun users, because that ammo racks up, right? And it always felt like the ammo on the Inner Sphere machine guns is a little bit low, so that could help with that. Heavy machine guns, range increased by 30 meters, and ammo per ton increased by, ooh, that is nice. That is 50% increase. Nice. That would be more interesting to use heavy machine guns now. Because with heavy machine guns you have to get very close, right? So in order to get some good use out of that, a little bit of a range buff plus more ammo per ton is going to help, I think. We'll see. Missile weapons overview. Changes to missiles have been made with a focus on a more consistent behavior rather than a feast or famine approach. This includes adjustments to missile health values, spread velocity, and volley properties. Inner Sphere and Clan SRM4s and SRM6s receive base spread reductions, yes, making them more effective in brawling. This is in line with performance boosting changes to make them made to other close range options, providing more variety. Moreover, since SRMs are unguided weapons, missile health has been increased across the board to make them more effective against massed AMS. Hell yeah. The current state of Clan Streak SRMs can be described as the definition of a feast or famine mechanic. The extremely long cooldown phase of the weapon could mean the miss is equivalent to being completely disabled for a long time, while the fight around you is going on. On the other hand, this has resulted in Clan Max packing as many streaks as possible, adopting for a hit-and-run fighting style, counting on their sheer number of launches to destroy or cripple target in one shot, and use cover speed to safely wait for the next salvo. The goal of changes made to Streak SRMs in this patch has been to make the weapon more consistent in terms of damage output, which has been achieved by reducing the upfront raw damage and adjusted heat values while allowing the weapon to fire faster. This change is expected to turn Clan Streak SRMs into a viable close-range option against all types of targets. Alongside this change, Inner Sphere Streaks have also been tuned to have a longer cooldown to balance their damage output potential between Inner Sphere and normal SRMs and Clan Streaks. Okay, what about health on Streaks? Because streaks get hard countered by AMS right now. So basically what they're doing is they're buffing Clan Streaks and nerfing Inner Sphere Streaks a little bit. Not such a huge fan of that. But we'll see, we'll test it out. One of the major drawbacks of smaller size MRMs such as the 10 have been the similar volley length compared to large launchers such as the 40. So they're changing the volley density and the volley length. MRM 10s will now fire a much more tightly packed volley. Same with the 20s and 30s. Okay, nice. Clan ATMs are currently very strong in their lower range bracket, yes. We all know the ATM Vehicle boats and we all hate them. Their function is currently the definition of the term feast or famine. Extremely high damage per each missile in close range makes ATMs being able to drill through an assault mech's components in a devastating way with just one salvo, yes. At the same time, in the presence of AMS, ATM performance degrades heavily, yes. In the patch, we're aiming to bring consistency to how ATMs function by decreasing short-range damage potential along with better missile health to move the weapon system away from its current phase of famine state. As an example, at 3 times ATM 12 salvo in the current state of the game can deal 108 damage or 24 damage with a Corsair there. After this patch, repeating the same early example, 3 ATM 12 will do 90 damage, so that's a little bit of reduction, and about 40 damage when an enemy Corsair is in the area, so yeah. That sounds good. This patch also does a number of revisions on narc beacon properties, taking into account the devastating effect of indirect LRMs. Long duration narc beacons can often contribute to degrading gameplay quality. Narc duration has been reduced, yes, in order to balance their cost versus benefit aspect. Inner Sphere narc has been given extra range and extra ammo per ton. Good. Yeah. Because if you get narked in this game, it feels like narc stays on you for a full minute. It's excruciatingly painful. Narc has been super painful in this regard, so I'm gonna see the values here in a sec. SRM2, health increase, SRM4, health increase, spread decrease. Ooh, Inner Sphere, 5 SRM4 without heat penalty, nice! SRM6, missile health increase, spread decrease, that was important because they increased the spread a couple of years ago. Streak SRM2, damage decreased to 1.5 per missile. Okay. But ammo per ton is up now. Streak SRM4, cooldown slightly up. Clan Streak SRM4, damage increased to 1.5 per missile from 2. Well, that's also decreased, okay. But the cooldown is also decreased. Makes sense. They're going for like more consistent damage over time output. Streak SRM6, Inner Sphere, cooldown increased by half a second. Yikes! Yikes. Like, why does Inner Sphere Streak have to have a longer cooldown now than Clan Streak? Question mark, question mark, question mark. That seems a little bit excessive. But we'll have to test it. As I said, I probably won't agree with all the changes, but that is fine. I think probably, like, some of you guys watching this right now not agreeing with some of the changes, that is also fine. We'll just test it and see how it goes. The good thing is this is going to be an iterative process, right? So it's not going to be set in stone. Moving on, Inner Sphere, MRM 10s, the volley decrease, the volley delay decrease, yep. And also less spread, which is going to help here for the 10s. 20s, missile health increase. I mean, these are the missile health increases that we had in the last patch, and they are sorely needed because MRM, once again, is an unguided weapon, so it should have benefits against AMS. Okay, here are the clan ATM changes. Let's see, missile health increases. Yep. Long range damage increased to 1.6 per missile. Short range damage decreased to 2.5 per missile. I'm not sure if I like that long range damage increase. But we'll see. But yeah, tuning down the short range damage is definitely the right move here, because ATMs were just super oppressive in the optimum range bracket. You guys have seen me running like quad ATM 12 mechs and just literally destroying enemy assault mechs with 2 salvos. It's so brutal, so this is gonna help a little bit with that. Knock duration decreased to 22 seconds from 30. Okay. But range is up now. Moving on to equipment. In this patch, 3 pieces of equipment have been the main focus with the goal of incentivizing their use. The changes to AMS includes removal of AMS ammo explosion, yes! Which made investing heavily into ammo-based AMS a health hazard. Also, laser AMS has been tuned to generate considerably lower heat. That will make laser AMS potentially viable at some point. Although it will contribute to your max total heat, laser AMS will no longer be such a burden on your max heat dissipation. Yes! Running more than 2 laser AMS would still require an investment in heat sinks, okay? In order to make mask more valuable, the mask fill rate has been reduced by 50%, allowing it to be used twice as long. Moreover, the redline threshold has been increased to 85%. It is worth mentioning that the 50% fill rate at this moment is not applied to Inner Sphere Mask Mark 1, due to its already high performance, okay? One of the more radical changes in this patch is removing tonnage costs from Inner Sphere case and allowing it to be equipped in arms and legs. This change will help mitigate one of the major advantages of clan mechs, having free case everywhere over Inner Sphere. But it will still require a single crit slot. That is nice. That will incentivize weird dudes like me to finally start using case. Nice. AMS, no more ammo explosion. No more Corsair 7A blowing up from an ammo explosion due to AMS ammo. Also, AMS ammo per ton increased by, what is that? That's a significant amount, that's 20%. 25, nice. Laser AMS heat decrease by almost 60%, nice. And then the mask changes, of course, fill rates decreasing and the redline threshold being increased. Note though, the reverse is not true. It will still lose its usage amount at the same speed. So you will be able to use mask longer, but it will still decay. The cooldown will still decay at a faster rate, or at the current rate. That's nice. Case in a sphere is now weightless, but you will have to put in a single critical slot for it. So you will have to pay for it, but it's a good thing that it's now weightless. Consumables overview, guys. Here comes a nice change. I would have liked to just remove artillery strikes and airstrikes, but I realized, I mean, there's some uses for them, especially in comp play. But here are the changes. In this patch, adjustments have been made to artillery and airstrikes in order to boost their area denial and reach aspects, and to move them away from their current feast or famine state. Currently, due to high damage shells of these strikes and a very short period of bombardment, luck plays a large part in determining whether a target is able to move out of a strike in one piece or not. This is particularly detrimental to medium and lighter mechs, considering the lower health. Yes, we've all been insta-gibbed by an enemy artillery strike hitting us in the back and just destroying our light mech, right? So, the approach taken here is to increase the bombardment duration or airstrike length, and in return, significantly reduce the damage per shell. You would have time to leave the strike area before being crippled, but you will take noticeably damage over time if you decide to stay in the area for the duration. So, artillery strike, 60%. 66% reduction in damage per shell, from 15 damage down to 5 damage, but the bombardment now lasts twice as long and the number of shells is twice as many. So overall though, it's a decrease in total amount of damage done, because while the duration went up, actually I'll have to look at this. Maybe I'm saying a wrong thing here. No. Actually, I might be wrong here, because they amped up the duration and they amped up the number of shells. So even though the shell damage is reduced by 66%. I think overall it does more damage if you actually stay in the area during the full time, provided you get hit all the time. Artillery strike was that. Airstrike, damage per bomb reduced to 10 from 15. So the airstrike, because it's just in a straight line, will do more damage per hit than the artillery strike. But that's compensated, of course, because there is just 7 total bombs being deployed right now, as opposed to the 20 that hits from the artillery strike. So for quick play, probably just best always stick to the artillery strike. For comp play or for faction play, airstrike might be more interesting. But yeah, guys, that was a long set of details. I highly recommend you guys read through that on your own time. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the dev vlog, and also let me know what you think of the changes. I think there are a lot of good things happening here. I don't agree with all of them, but that's okay. That is absolutely okay. We'll just have to playtest them and see how they work out. So there's going to be a lot of changes happening. There's going to be a lot of changes happening to the meta, which is a good thing. So of course we're going to try to build effective mechs as always. So make sure to follow me on my YouTube channel to get the latest and greatest in cool builds to try out. This has been TTB. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take care.